Hello YouTube fans, my name is Leo, and welcome back to another video by the Supersonic Lion. In today's video, we're going to talk about a pianist that has a very unusual reputation that many of you haven't really heard of. But before we continue, please hit that subscribe button and leave a like and a comment. That is going to show YouTube that my channel has some very cool information like this. And it's going to get us much more subscribers anyways, so there's no harm in hitting that subscribe button and leave a like and a comment. Anyways, that's enough talk. Let's start the video. So, when I say the word piano or pianist, who comes to mind? I'm sure some of you will blurt out people like Johann Sebastian Bach, Ludwig van Beethoven, Friedrich Chopin, possibly others. But there's one person that many of you will not know about that has a much more special reputation than any of these Baroque composers. That person is a Chinese pianist named Zhu Xiaomei, and in Shanghai she was born in 1949. At just 8 years old in 1957, she was a child prodigy, and in 1962 she graduated from her high school with great piano skills that allowed her to be in the National School of Gifted Musicians. Everything was looking great for her when she was only 13 years old, and before she even turned 20, she would become a professional pianist. Just like the Baroque composers. At least, that's what she thought back in the early 60s. As the 1960s move on, things would quickly go downhill for her. And part of this is because of one man in particular, who was the back then Chinese dictator Mao Zedong. In 1966, he started the Cultural Revolution, where many people, just because of their social class, political views, or their perceived loyalty to Mao, were wrongfully executed between 1966 and Mao's own death in 1976. And unfortunately, Zhu Mei will become one of the victims thanks to her musical style. In 1969, she was sent to a labor camp, just like many other people in our country, for just that reason, and had to spend the next 6 years of her life in that labor camp. In 1975, China became less strict on music and was able to release her, but at that point, she was already 26 years old, and it wasn't going to be easy for her to come back, because at that age, the only Chinese school that would let her study was the National Conservatory of Music, but she studied there. She taught piano lessons in the Beijing Dance Academy, and things were slowly getting back to her. Her big breakthrough came in 1979, when American extern visited China and inspired her to go to America herself to study, which in 1980 is what she did, going to Boston's Conservatory of Music, also known as the New England Conservatory of Music, getting her master's degree, but she wasn't sure where to go next, and in 1985, just 2 days before her visa, she finally got her stroke of luck with Paris, France, where she moved, studied at the Conservatoire Supérieur de Paris in Paris, excuse my French pronunciation please, practiced piano in 7 different locations, became famous all across Europe and South America, and quickly things were starting to get back. In 1994, she made her first public performance in Paris, as she was becoming famous throughout Europe and South America. In 2007, she published her first and only autobiography called The Secret Piano, From Mao's Labor Camps to Bach's Goldberg Variations. This part about Bach's Goldberg Variations exists because Johann Sebastian Bach from the Baroque era was one of her biggest influencers, but she hasn't seen the biggest breakthrough yet. And that would come in 2014 when she was already 65 years old, for 2 reasons. Number one, for the first time in over 35 years, she was able to perform in China, her home country, where she had previously been in a labor camp during the 1960s and 70s. And third of all, she was invited to perform in Leipzig, Germany's St. Thomas Church, a church where her influencer, Johann Sebastian Bach, just so happened to work at for 23 years. Hey, does this sound pretty cool? How a pianist who was once in labor camp now became so famous? If yes, leave a like and a comment and hit that subscribe button on this channel. That's all the information we have for this video, so bye, see you next time.